What's going on, friends and fellow artists? This is Matt, aka Mr. E in 3D, and I hope you all are having a great day. In today's video, I briefly wanted to sidestep out of our project and show you guys how I go about the process of making eyes for all of the characters that I'm going to create. I have a very stylized eye. You guys have seen this in the sketches and in the detailed head video that I created for my first character. I'm going to use that style of eye for all of my characters. So again, using that forward thinking, using that style approach where we want everybody to match as much as possible. How do I create an eye or an eye style that I'm going to be able to pass on to all of my different characters? I'm going to show you guys how I do that today, okay? I'm going to create one file that I'm going to create all of my eye shapes in, and then I'm going to import those eyes into each model as I go. Now, truth be told, I've already done this for my characters currently, but again, I just wanted to show you guys how I went about doing this and share the exercise that you guys can hopefully try it out on your own, see what you guys can come up with. So we're going to start off in the space. It's going to be a cube as always. We're going to go ahead and delete that cube. We're not going to need that today. What we're going to do instead, we're going to go up here to add. First and foremost, we're going to make sure that the cursor is locked in at that center point at the Y and the X vertices. And to do that, if you've already been working, you just want to make sure you go to Object, Snap, and then Cursor to World Origin, okay? It's already there, so we're good to go. From there, we're going to hit Add, Mesh, Plane. We're going to actually do a plane for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll in, we're going to scale from the X, make this a little narrower, and then we're just going to go in, and we're going to hit edit, like we always do. We're going to start with loop cuts. Control R, Control R, Control R, and Control R. And then we're going to add a couple more to the middle here. One there, and let's hit Control R and then scroll with our mouse up 3 and create 3 in the center, okay? This gives us pretty much the same amount of faces on all the sides. Perfect. What we're going to do here is let's just go to our faces and delete these and give us pretty much, we're going to hit X, delete faces, pretty much give us this eye shape, okay? We're going to hit A for all, scale along the Y, bring this a little bit closer, okay? And then from here, let's go back to vertices and let's start rounding this shape out. So we're going to go grab those and grab those with B for border. A boundary, whatever it is, I'm not sure. Scale along the Y. We're going to bring them out. We're going to do the same thing here. Again, B to grab the set. Scale Y. Round that out. And from there, we're probably good. Scale this all, the entire thing by the X. Okay, now this center one, we want to round this out because this is actually going to be the eye section. So we're just going to grab all of these. We're going to hit S along the X. And then we're going to hit B. We're going to hit that center scroll button, push down on that scroll. And then we're going to S on X again. That is actually how you unselect, in case anybody was wondering. A. We're going to scale this all against the Y again, make this a little smaller. You guys may actually already be able to see what I'm doing. I'm actually creating the eyelashes here, and the bottom ones here, and then this is actually the eye section. Now bottom eyelash, we're gonna make this a little bit smaller. We're gonna scale you along the S, S, X, and then we're gonna grab this bottom line here, S, or just grab Y. There we go, okay. All in all, I think this is a pretty decent shape to get started. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit A for all, E, and then I'm going to hit that Z button twice to make sure we're extruding along the Z axis. We're going to pull it straight up, okay? Then we're going to go over here and we are going to round this out. Let's go ahead and create a couple more loop cuts. Control R, Control R. All right, and then we're going to round this out. So let's just grab this top surface with B, G, Z. And then unselect both sides, leave that center line, GZ, okay? And that kind of helps us round out this shape. If you want to go even further, you can even grab these outside lines. Let's go ahead and do that. I am holding down the shift button as I click all those, GZ, There we go. Okay. And now let's go ahead and let's extrude those eyelashes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E along the Z. I'm going to unselect these, grab along the Z, make this one a little bit higher. Okay. Now from here we have some style choices. And I'll show you those when we get a little bit further along. But for right now, this is looking pretty good. So if I were to go ahead and hit Object, let's go ahead and create our subdivision by clicking on that wrench, add modifier, type in sub, grab subdivision surface. You can see we're already starting to round this out, okay? We go to 2, which is what I typically work at. We go back into Object, Edit. Now, remember guys, over here with this screen up, this is simply giving me a display. I haven't applied anything yet, okay? It's very important. This is just simply giving me a preview of what it is going to look like once I apply it. We don't want to apply any subdivision surfaces until we're absolutely done with the entire model, okay? Very important. So open up this modifier, leave this sitting here, and go ahead and keep working. I'm going to Control R. I'm going to create some more loop cuts and make these lines a little bit more distinct. Okay, that actually looks pretty good right there. Now from here, we are going to go back into Object, Snap, make sure our cursor is at World Origin, which it should be. Good. And from here, let's go ahead and create the pupil and the iris. Okay, we're going to add mesh, and this time we are going to add a cylinder. Okay, we're going to scale that down so it fits within. Okay. Let's go ahead and start editing this. Now, if I were to come in here and start making changes, okay, select faces, I can't just grab this and scale because all it does is turn this into a cone, okay? We want to make sure that we have a pupil and iris. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit Control R for a loop cut, bring that loop cut all the way up, okay? And then I'm going to select faces again, grab that center face, I'm going to scale with S all the way down. There we go. Well, let's leave it like that. And then GZ. Okay. Now, this is actually going to be our eye. Okay. This is the iris. This is the pupil. So in order to get it to be more of that style that we want, we're going to hit A for all, scale with S, and then we're going to hit X. And we're going to squeeze this together just along that X and give us the style that we want for the rest of the eye. Okay. Now from here, really, all I really want is this top section. Okay, and I'll show you why in a second. So let's go back to vertices, and let's go ahead and go to wireframe and delete this entire bottom section, okay? X vertices, and that's gonna leave us with just this top plate, which is what we want, okay? Z solid so we can see what we're doing. Let's go ahead and scale this up a little bit, make this a little bit bigger. Okay, from here we can just go ahead and GZ. Now this is flat, this is not going to be printable, okay? So we have to go ahead and try to make this into a solid object. So let's make sure we have everything selected with A. Actually, no, we're not gonna do that. Let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, actually first, select everything with A, E, along the Z twice, make it short, there you go. And now we've got a solid object. And from here, let's go back to faces, select the center face, and let's extrude again. E, Z, Z. Okay, I'll bring that up. I'm gonna hit S to scale that in just a little bit. And then from there, I'm gonna start grabbing all of these faces. Using B, make sure you're just grabbing the top. And then we're gonna E, Z twice. And I may actually scale this out a little bit. Now we want these lines to be as harsh as possible, okay? And that is something I cannot emphasize enough throughout the entire process, guys. Always make sure that your lines when it comes to details are as harsh as possible so that the 3D printing can actually pick it up. Different printers are gonna have different abilities to gather details. You know, if you're using a PLA printer, it's not going to be able to be as detailed as whether, you know, sometimes you're using a resin printer. So it's always best to make sure that those lines are as harsh as possible around details to show off what you need. Again, Almost everything that I'm doing on this channel, I am prepping for 3D printing. So it is very, very important that we get those details correct, okay? So now we're gonna grab this, grab the top, G along the Z, we're gonna bring this down, and now you can start to see where that eye is going to come in at, okay? Let's go ahead and add a subdivision to this one too. And round that out, 1, and then 2. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab this along the Y, along Z. And now you guys can kind of start to see where that eye is coming in, okay? Let's go ahead and make this a little smaller. Object, edit, wireframe. Let's switch this over to vertices, a little easier to control. Grab these guys, grab along the Y, bring this eye up a little bit closer. Let's grab these outside edges, scale along the X because we want this eye to be as round as possible. Let's go back to wireframe and see what we have. This is actually pretty good. But now you guys can kind of see where we're at as far as the eye. Now, if I was going to color this, again, everything that I'm doing is primarily based on the idea of 3D printing. So nothing that I'm going to do is really going to end up being colored because ultimately it's getting printed. Z, wireframe, make sure we're grabbing everything, grab Y. Okay, but if you were doing this and you were trying to make, something that wasn't going to be printed, these eyes might still work. It would be a little tricky trying to get the armatures and stuff to work properly, but you guys get the basic idea. Grab Y. There we go. And you may be looking at this saying, I don't really see an eye. Well, watch what happens. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and let's add our mirror to the entire object, okay? Watch what happens. Object, edit, hit A, grab X. And now I've got 2, okay? Edit, object. We're going to do the same thing over here. I don't know why I'm yelling at my computer. And if I go object, edit, A, select all, grab X, I can now bring this out over here, okay? And now, hopefully you see it a little bit clearer, okay? Now, why do I keep these separated? Very easily. See, so I can grab this, right? Now if I grab X, I can have them looking to the left. Grab X, I can have them looking to the right. I can grab along the Y, have them looking down. And I can make adjustments to the eyelids for that. Grab Y, have them looking up, okay? So that's actually why I leave these 2 separate. And then once the entire model is done, once our character is completely created, I'll actually take all of these different meshes and merge them into the one on the model. Now the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about and show you guys real quick is, again, following the process that I would follow. So I would take these eyes that I just did and I would hit Shift D and I would grab along the Y and I would pull out a duplicate, okay? These are gonna be like the basic eye. I'm gonna put them at the top of my list and I'm gonna go ahead and use them later on. Let's say I wanted to make these eyes angry, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go Control E for edit. I'm gonna make sure that I have all this set up the same way, and I'm going to go Z, wireframe. I'm gonna grab just this top, okay? Grab Y, and you can see, and I'm gonna R for rotate, Z, turn this around. And you can see how with the slightest different change, I've created an entirely different look to the eye, okay? I've given it that much more personality, okay? I could take, well, actually, let's do this. Just for the sake of the exercise, object, Shift D, grab Y, Shift D, grab Y. Now I have angry eyes. And this is how I went about the process, guys, for the other file that I have saved, okay? If I want to take these eyes and I want to make them, let's say I make them kind of sad. I'll do that too. Watch this. Z, wireframe. We're going to do the exact opposite, okay? I'm going to take this entire row Z, rotate along the Z, grab Y, grab X. And now I've got sad eyes. And so now, as I go through and I decide, all the different expressions that I want, I would go ahead and make different sets of eyes for those characters. Then I'll save them just like that. And then when I get a character that I know is going to have a specific, eye shape, or they're going to have a specific expression on their face, I'm going to go in and make sure I come into this file, grab that set of eyes, and import them. You can see here I'm trying to make sure that as I make adjustments, I'm trying to keep that eye rounded. I don't want it to get too boxy, or any boxier than the actual style is supposed to be. There you go, guys. That is pretty much it. And then again, the file that I already have saved that I'll be using for these projects, I've got like 5 or 6 lined up, but that is how I would go about doing it. So from here, guys, I'm going to get back to the project itself. Just wanted to create this sidebar video. Thank you all so much for the support that I'm seeing. You guys are great. Thank you all again, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Like, subscribe, share. You guys know the drill. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.